that, as the President has said, Assad has lost his legitimacy and cannot be a part of the long-term future of Syria. Is that statement still operative?
I think it is. And I'll just give a general answer to your general question. You're right, it was discussed earlier. And even though we are going to be, I'm confident, militarily successful against ISIL, insofar as the Syrian civil war is concerned, the violence can't end there until there's a political transition from Assad to a government that is decent and that can govern the Syrian people and put that tragically broken country back together. That doesn't look in sight now. It is what we talked earlier about. Secretary Kerry's trying to make arrangements to promote, but that's necessary for the resolution of what is, as you say, a very tragic situation. Let me see if the chairman wants to add anything.
Well, let me just ask this, if you don't mind, Secretary Carter. It would help if the barrel bombing ended. And I spoke to a Democratic colleague of mine today. I've been calling for a no-fly zone to stop the barrel bombing, and I asked this colleague of mine on the other side of the aisle if he would support that, and he said yes. He said, I want to call it something else rather than a no-fly zone, but that this particular senator, it is a fact that this particular senator has now changed his position and would like us to take action to prevent the barrel bombing. What is your position about that? And wouldn't it help if we took decisive action and ended this carnage?
I don't know the specific proposal which you're discussing with your colleague. Make one comment and then see if the chairman wants to add anything.
I think he was talking about a no-fly zone, but described in more palatable terms.
There are a number of different proposals have been made, but the one that I think the focus on right now is the one Secretary Kerry's trying to promote, namely a no-fly zone for the Russians and the Syrians who are attacking the Syrian people. If they're talking about a no-fly zone for American aircraft fighting ISIL, needless to say, that's not going to get any enthusiasm, get strong opposition from me. But I think that's what it's. But it's not called that. But Secretary Kerry's trying to get a stand down of the Syrian and Russian Air Force, and if he's successful, that would be a good thing. You ask the chairman if he has anything to add.
Senator, the only thing I'd say is, as the situation on the ground changes, I think I have a responsibility, we, the Joint Force, has a responsibility to make sure the President has a full range of options. We have discussed that issue in the past under certain conditions. The conditions on the ground will change, and we'll continue to look at those options and make sure they're available to the President.
What about the option of controlling the airspace so that barrel bombs cannot be dropped?
All the options.
What do you think of that option, sir?
Right now, Senator, for us to control all of the airspace in Syria would require us to go to war against Syria and Russia. That's a pretty fundamental decision that certainly I'm not going to make.
To impose a no-fly zone.
Chairman, could I for a second just answer?
No, Senator Gillibrand.
That's not what I said, Chairman.
Go ahead.
Well, yeah, I do think
what Senator asked me was to control all of the airspace.
No, what he asked was, should we have a no-fly zone so we can protect these people from being slaughtered? That's what he's talking about.
I answered that first.
That's what we're all talking about.
So that would not require going to war full scale, would it?
Not necessarily, Senator. I'm sorry, but I tried to answer the first question first, and then I was responding to the second part of your question. But I did not mean to say that imposing a no-fly zone would require us to go to war. That's not the question I was answering.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.